Sammy was a small, curious child who spent his evenings exploring the corners of his home's green garden. One night, as he wandered along the edges of the garden under the moonlit sky, he saw something strange, something that had never been there before. Hidden among the tangled trees, it was a magical train, as if it had emerged from a fairy tale. The train looked unlike anything Sammy had ever seen before. A carriage covered in golden ornaments, windows glowing with colors like a rainbow, and sounds that resembled music instead of the usual whistle. Its door stood open invitingly, as if calling him to step inside. Unable to resist his curiosity, Sammy decided to enter. As soon as he stepped inside, he felt something unusual. The carriage seemed to pulse with life. Suddenly, the train started, moving on its own, without a driver, while Sammy sat in awe, watching the darkness outside transform into a sea of colors. A small screen in front of him displayed the names of upcoming stations, with the first stop called Meadow of Wishes. When the train arrived at the Meadow of Wishes, Sammy stepped out and found himself in a land covered with flowers that changed colors with the wind. A strange creature appeared before him. It resembled a rabbit but was the size of a peacock and had two small wings. "Welcome, traveler. Here, wishes come true, but only if you can solve a riddle," the creature said. It pulled out a small golden box and asked, "What is something you can see but cannot touch?" Sammy thought carefully and then answered, "Imagination. You are correct. You may proceed to the next station," the creature replied. Sammy returned to the train, but time seemed to pass faster now. The train soared through the air as if the wind itself was pushing it toward the next stop, the Forest of Lost Dreams. This forest had towering trees that seemed to touch the sky, and every leaf told a story when touched. Sammy encountered another peculiar being this time, a fox wearing a magician's hat. To pass through to the next station, the fox said, "You must realign the stars." At the heart of the forest stood a large board displaying a map of the stars, but the constellations were in disarray. Sammy recalled the shapes he had learned in school about planets and star patterns. Using his knowledge, he rearranged the stars to form the image of a smiling cat. The fox magician chuckled and said, "You have illuminated the sky of dreams. You may proceed." This time, the train sped up as if it sensed that Sammy was running out of time. The final station was called the Island of the Time Horizon. However, the island was half submerged in water, while the other half shone brilliantly. "To return to your world," a voice whispered, "you must find the clock that beats a mine." All the others. Sammy searched the island and found many clocks hanging from the trees, some with numbers, others bizarrely lacking hands. One particular clock stood out. It glowed whenever he approached it. The moment he touched it, a powerful gust of wind swept through, and suddenly, the train was carrying him back home. Sammy awoke to the sound of birds at sunrise, lying in his bed as if he had never left. But something was different. Hanging near his small window was a magical clock he had chosen. From that moment on, Sammy knew that imagination could take him to worlds beyond his wildest dreams, and that curiosity and courage could unlock the greatest adventures of life.